Okay, so welcome to this week's edition of this gold call. Thank you for being patient with me for yesterday. We were traveling back from Mexico yesterday. My 13-year-old son and I went on a fishing trip to Mexico to celebrate his 13th birthday. So we got back yesterday afternoon and we're getting back into the swing of things here. So it was awesome. Anyway, so thanks for being patient with that. So one thing I'm going to do, hopefully our internet works. Anyway, so we're going to get started. So last week we went through some things. The recording did not work, but that's okay. We can adapt and overcome fairly quickly. Let me get to my notes here. But one thing I wanted to go over real quick, I had gave some homework last week. It wasn't too much. It was I just want to go over the homework really quick and then we'll go from there on this call. So the first thing I wanted you guys to do is to identify one thing. What do you want out of Plexus? What do you want out of Plexus? Again, obviously that we want to go gold, but is that your ultimate goal with Plexus? What is your ultimate goal with Plexus? What do you want out of Plexus? So I'm going to leave this open for you to answer. You can either type it in the chat or you can answer. You can come on.
Justin, I can go.
Yep.
So initially my goal was to just replace my income as a teacher, which was about $3,600 a month. And I don't know, tell me, is that at least like senior Ruby? Is that more than that? I don't know, point wise, but that was my initial goal. And then I was on a walk with Kyle and I just said, what is my why? Because it was to make money to start a business. And he said, well, you need to make at least $1,000 a month, like cover our products, which is around $500 a month. And he's like, if you could make $500 more, that would just help if I had a moment where I had to be like sick or something happened with this construction job. So right now that's mine, is to at least get 1,000. And then the next step is to replace my teaching income.
Okay, now there's something I'm looking. I just took a picture of a graphic. Let me find it. I take way too many pictures, obviously, apparently. And I can tell you what those averages are. Actually, I'll have Megan send it to me. We have it somewhere. One thing, okay, so let's just talk about that real quick. So $1,000 a month. One thing I want to say is with what you want out of Plexus or anything in life, whether you want, it's a goal that you set with Plexus, whether it's a fitness goal, whatever, a reading goal. One thing I would absolutely encourage everybody to do is be extremely, extremely specific on your goals. One thing I've even learned to do with goals, even my prayer life, it's like, okay, kind of, just give us a good day. Amen. Well, what does that even mean? Like trials are to be considered good. If you're being biblical, I mean, you might want to be careful, be a little bit more specific in the ask, right? And so, like when you're setting goals, one thing I would encourage you to do is be extremely specific. Like maybe it's a rank, maybe it's a dollar amount. So that's just one thing I want to encourage you guys with. So, hold on, I'll get this graphic up. Okay, so one thing in the setting of what you actually want with Plexus is be incredibly specific in light of the goal setting. So $1,000 a month, I think that is one. It's an absolutely doable goal, without a doubt, a doable goal. And one thing is that your goals can change. you don't have to just start off day one and be like, I'm going to be a triple diamond. All right, good. It's possible. And I believe you can do it. However, you know, our first goal, let's just go back to being realistic with, for my story personally. Our first goal was just to get Megan well. We didn't even have a business goal because I didn't want to do Plexus. I didn't want to do network marketing. No, it wasn't for me. I didn't think. However, our first goal business wise was to get our products paid for. We got our products paid for. We got the family on the products. And then we wanted to pay off, we wanted a new vehicle. So then we bought a new vehicle. And then we wanted to pay off the house. And then we paid off the house. So it just like, you know, the goals just kept increasing. And so, you know, those goals can be reset for like you're saying, the $1,000 goal a month is a good goal to have. That's $500 a month for product, and that's $500 a month for whatever, getting your nails done, whatever. And so, whatever, I don't even know how much that costs. I'm sure it's not $500. That's a lot of nail doing, I would think. However, maybe I should start. But the thing is, you want to, you know, you just set the goals very specific in light of what you want. Let's come back to that as far as rank what it takes to get to the 1,000 and 3,600, what that looks like. I can guess, but I want to be a little more accurate in light of what I tell you rank wise, point wise, people wise, what that looks like. Okay, who else? Anybody else have anything they want to? Okay. Okay, let's go back down through here. I want to make sure we go over these things. Mary says ultimate is emerald or higher. Okay. I'm retired, so I want my husband to be able to retire. He's self-employed heavy equipment operator. Okay, God bless the heavy equipment operators. I'm road construction guy myself, and so love the heavy equipment world and all the things involved with it. My favorite is the road grader. You didn't ask, but I'm just telling you. So emerald or higher. So that's great. That's an awesome goal. It's absolutely doable. We're looking at 1,500 points. And so with 1,500 points, you not only get emerald, you get the emerald bonus, you get the option to do a Lexus lease program, you get or a lifestyle bonus, and you get your trip to Maui, Mexico, Alaska, wherever they might send us that year. So that's awesome. That's awesome goal to have. Good job. Who else is next on? So Jonna Bennett, to replace my income and make enough to make my husband home more. Awesome. So one thing I would encourage you on that goal, that's an awesome goal to have. Just make sure you have a specific dollar amount. Because then when we start breaking these things down into a very specific amount, then we can target it. Once the more specific you get, the more focused you can get. The more focused we can get, the more likely we are to achieve all these goals we set for ourselves. Shauna, time freedom specifically for my husband and debt free. I want to be emerald to replace his income. Okay, awesome. So emerald, we know about what that is. Again, 1,500 points. That's what's needed to replace his income. As far as like debt free, you don't have to say anything on here about that, but write these things down. Like I want to, if it's just for example, I want to pay off $5,000 worth of debt. One thing I'm big about, I'm a visual guy. And so some people are not. I would write that down by your computer. I'd write that thing down and place it on a Post-it note and put it on my bathroom mirror. Like anywhere and everywhere you can place your goals, set them before you. Because even the people in your family will start asking questions like, hey, we getting this debt paid off yet or what? How's the Plexus going? Like, get people to buy into your goal with you. Write it down, put it everywhere. Megan had a picture of the house we live in now. I don't know, 2020, 4 years before we built it. We all knew what the goal was. The ultimate goal was is to build this house. Like, that was one of the ultimate goals. That thing was so old, like it was sun faded so bad, like I had to print another one. Like, it was on the fridge for a long time before it ever even happened. But that was the goal. We knew we were headed. We knew we weren't quitting until we got the thing done. And so don't be afraid to write these things down that this is what I want. Write it out, take a picture of it, put it on the fridge, put it on your mirror, put it next to your computer, put it on your treadmill, wherever. Put a card, I'm a huge fan of the 3x5 post-it, like, index cards. I love them. It's one of my favorite things in the world. Write down the note and put it in your car. Just as a reminder, this is what we're doing today. This is what we're going for today. This is worth it. This is going to be worth it. Let's keep going. Someone tells you no, look at your card. This is what I want. And those no's will test your want. And that's a good thing. Let's go to Lisa. Ultimate goal is diamond, but ideally I'd love to hit senior ruby by fall, emerald by February. Okay, diamond, great goal. Awesome. I want everybody to be diamond. I like senior ruby by fall. That's specific. And one thing that does is it gives you a specific number of points that you're going for by a specific date. And that's another important thing of goal setting. If you've been part of the team for any number of years, if I get on and talk about goal setting, I've taught this a dozen times over the last however many years. Give your goal a drop dead date. What that does is it gives you a sense of urgency. It gives you a sense of urgency as you set that goal, right? I want to hit senior ruby by whatever fall is. Is that October 31st? Is that November 30th, like 30th, whatever? I would put a date on that. Because it then gives us a sense of urgency, like, hey, I got to get this thing done. Emerald by February. That's a specific number of points by a specific date. I like it. Once I go to senior ruby, I don't have to go back to work, but time is of the essence. Okay. So let's give it a date. I'm actually going to stop and do something. We'll come back to what we're doing. I think this is important. I've shared this a dozen times over the years. I'm going to share it the 13th time because I love it. So this is a book. There's new people on here, so I'm just going to share it. And so my computer hopefully is not starting to freeze up. This book, I did a mastermind group with a bunch of people several years ago. The book is called Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. And what he did is this is an old book, so it's stood the test of time. It almost has a cult-like following at this point. It's just an interesting book. Copyrighted 1937. What he did was he interviewed the wealthy way back when, Napoleon Hill did, after the Great Crash. And he started to find out, like, okay, there's some common themes with these people who took a bad situation and got better. What is the common theme? And so it's really Think and Grow Rich. It's not just about money. It's really about mindset. It's more about thinking than it is about money. And so how your thoughts matter. And we talked about that a little bit last week, that your thoughts are things. So one thing I'm going to do real fast, I'm going to give this, I will go back after this is over, and in the chat thread, I'll put the goal setting, I guess, steps that I recommend to people in the chat group, because I think it's important, very important. It's how I hit diamond. And I'll read my diamond card I have right here. I wrote it all out. I still have it in my book, and it worked. So one thing is, the first step is you need to fix in your mind the exact first step you need to fix in your mind. So in thought, your exact goal. Senior Ruby, Emerald, and make it very specific. So so Senior Ruby is 750 points. So my goal is 750 points. My goal is 1,500 points. My goal is 4,500 points. Make it very specific, or an amount of money. It could be points. It could be an amount of money. I want to make $1,000 a month, whatever that is. Make it very specific, and you get to decide what that is. I don't. It's honestly none of my business. You get to decide what that is for you. And that's the awesome thing about this. You get to set your own goals in life. They don't have to look like mine. They can be smaller than mine. They can be the same as mine. They can be 10 times as big as mine, which would be really big because I've got some insane goals at this point. And I hope yours are bigger than mine. And I hope you achieve them faster than I achieve mine. I really do. So the first thing, be very specific in what you're wanting, whether it's a specific point, specific amount of money. The second thing is, and this is important, determine what you intend to give in return for that money or amount of points that you say you want. If you want something that you don't have, if you want to achieve something you've never achieved, you're going to have to do something that you've probably never done before. That's just the way growth is. That's the way success is in any area of life. And if it's something you really, really want, you will give up everything for a season to go get it. I'm not talking about like your children or your spouse or neglecting eating or anything stupid like that, but I'm saying binge watching Netflix, like scrolling aimlessly. You'll give all that stuff up to go get that thing you want if you really want it. And that's the thing. And you get to decide what that thing is. For me, I'll read about it. I'll read about it here in a minute. Of what I was willing to give up to go diamond. And I gave it up. And it saved me a lot of time that I was able to use to focus on hitting my goal. So the third step is to establish a definite date by which you want to hit the goal. We've talked about that a little bit today, and be very specific. The way that our virtual office is set up, everything kind of resets after the end of the month. So a good time for you to hit a goal might be by the end of a month. Okay. So that's the third step. The fourth step is to create a plan for carrying out this goal. Like what you intend, not what you intend to give up, but what do you intend to do to get it? Whether it's a certain amount of time each day, you're going to do reach outs, if you're going to do in-person meetings, if you're going to do vendor events, if you're going to do Zoom calls, if you're going to do door-to-door knocking on doors, if you're going to put pamphlets underneath windshield wipers at the mall, whatever, you get to decide the plan that you actually get to do. And there's no one way to do network marketing. The greatest people of all time in network marketing did not have the internet. The greatest Hall of Famers of network marketing as a whole had a phone and had a call list. And all they did for hit the phones, call, meetings, call, meetings. That's all they did. So you get to create the plan for carrying out your goal. That's the fourth step. The fifth step is to write out a concise and clear, very short statement. So the statement would say something like this. This is my going diamond statement. This would be an example. So I, Justin Goff, am going to rank up to 4,500 points, diamond ambassador by June 30th, 2020. I'm going to give up arguing politics on Facebook to make this happen, right? And the plan was I had specific, I don't have it. This is a different sheet. I'll have to find that other sheet. Maybe Megan has it. But my specific plan had to do with how many people I wanted to help gold and all these other things, how many people I wanted to help rank up on my team. So I had wrote it out. It was very simple. Don't write out some 30-page thing. And there's a reason why. We want to be clear. We want to be quick. We want to be concise. I, Justin Golf, am going diamond by June 30th, 2020. I'm going to give up arguing with people that I won't say that, but I would give up arguing politics on social media. And these are the things I'm going to focus on. And then the very last and sixth step to this is this. Read that written statement out loud twice a day. Read it in the morning, read it before you go to bed. You can read it more than twice a day. And one of two things are going to happen. You're going to start to believe these things because it's truly what you want. Or you're going to be like, I don't know that I really want this. So read it out loud. That something happens when we think things are powerful, but when we speak our thoughts out loud, something happens. I don't understand it. There's power in speaking these things out. So I'll write those steps down. I'll probably just take a screenshot of this page and I will put it in that chat thread. I think it's worth looking at. So as you're determining what you want, write those things out and then start putting that thing together. It's going to be homework for next week. Just a little heads up. Let's see. Aletha, $365 for BBBs this week had me in tears. That's awesome. And I'm not happy you're crying. Those are happy tears, I'm assuming. But it's amazing. And this is what we do. We can help people this way. We can help people this way. I'm going to give you guys a training hack here in a minute. I'll make sure no one's in my area here. Sarah, you stay out of my area here when I share this little tip. I'll talk about that in a minute. Let's finish up with these goals. I think it's important to read these goals. Okay, John Bennett, $5,000 a month. Absolutely doable. Absolutely possible, and then some with Plexus. There's Zoom user. I don't know who that might be Aletha. Senior Ruby by December 31st. Absolutely doable. Very specific goal. I love it. Lisa Stanley, Senior Ruby by September 30th. Okay. I will say that I hate doing lives, but I did it yesterday and had 8 people message me since. See? Do it. Do it. You know, here's the thing. And this is the thing I want you guys to understand. In light of business, in light of life, in light of Plexus or whatever, you hate doing lives, so does everybody else. The difference is this: you did it. And 99% of the people won't because they're afraid. And that's why they will not succeed. And this is why you will. Because when they're faced with a challenge, when they're faced with an obstacle, most stop. The 1%, the ones who win, don't stop. They're afraid, but they still jump over the hurdle. They still go over, in, through, around, under the obstacle, whatever it is. Keep doing that. That is what winners do. Winners just don't stop. We're not designed to stop. I read a book one time that said you're bulletproof until you go on to glory. So just keep going. You'll be fine. You won't die. Well, you will eventually. However, probably not from doing a live, though. I'm just encouraging you. The Ohio event is Monday, and I have 5 people coming. Awesome. So my wife, Megan, and who you all know and love, and my daughter, Madeline, and my daughter, Abigail, are all coming out to that event. So that'll be fun. And try to get more people going. Do a post. Do a post with a flyer. If they have I don't know if Melody or somebody's made a flyer for that, Lisa. Have you seen anything? Have you seen a flyer or anything that anybody's made for that event in Ohio?
Yeah, it's I'll put it in the chat, the gold chat.
Um,
I think
do a post about that, or do a post or a story or whatever, or both, and you might get some interest that way as well. So, let's see. Sarah Kunstler, I need to hire a babysitter a couple days a week to get my habit formed. Okay. Right now, my nap time is dedicated to exercise. Our area does not offer many vendor events, and Angie said not to travel more. Yeah, I mean, vendor events, try them. We have done them before. Before you go, call me and I'll give you some tips on what I've learned. I'm not going to do all of it here because every vendor event's different because I think every geographical location's different. The ones that I went to were sketch at the best. So it was interesting, but yeah, I think I went to the wrong one. But we had fun, just didn't produce a whole lot of fruit. But we learned and whatever. I'm not saying they won't work though, but vendor events can be good. And there's also we have the whole world at our fingertips too, with um, groups on Facebook. I mean, and I've said this before, I'll say it again. Don't join a group just to get people. Like join a group of something like you're actually interested in, something that is like an extension of who you are because your passion for that thing, whatever it is, maybe it's motherhood, maybe it's exercise, cooking, you know, paper
Mhm.
mache, whatever it is like you are into, just do you. And then, like there's groups for all of that there's probably specific groups on Facebook like mothers who love to exercise, eat well, cook, and do paper mache all in one group. Like you can find these things. So go find that. I mean, so you don't have to, you can find a lot of these things even on social media, which is really awesome. And I'll just say real quick, social media, just so we understand what social media is not a way to connect with friends. We don't really connect anyway on social media, I'm convinced. Social media is a data collection agency. It's all they do is they collect information so that they can use that information and market other things to you. That's what they use it for. If that's what the big companies are using it for, we should use it that way. And so you can find a lot of these things on social media. So let's see. Okay. We were going to come back to, we were going to come back. We'll get that graphic here in a minute. So we're very specific on what you want with Plexus. It's very important to be absolutely 100% knowing what you want out of Plexus. So we've talked about that. We talked about goal setting and how to set those goals exactly to hit them. Make sure you write those down and be reading them out loud. There is something psychological to that, of reading your goals out loud twice a day. And so it just keeps things on the forefront of your brain and you're constantly thinking about it. What you think